create a positive change and drive success and resilience in the dairy sector. Innovation is closely tied to developments in scientific research and knowledge, but we need also to satisfy and adapt to the consumer's demand. And the growing consumer focus is on product quality, is on health aspects, environmental impact, and sustainability. Consumer demand is a key driver for innovation processes in the dairy sector along all the dairy chain, from farm to fork. Innovation allows to dairy sector to adapt and cater to changing consumer preference. And we are living in a globalized world. We are the era of globalization. So globalization presents challenges, opportunities for dairy companies, for dairy farmers, for dairy processors to enter in the global market. And dairy companies, dairy processors, farmers, all the stakeholders along the dairy chain need to be creative, to be innovative, to survive and thrive in global markets, but respecting the global standards. It's exactly what we are doing in IDF, providing global standards. Innovation is very important also to be competitive in the market, and innovation becomes key differentiator for business to succeed in the international field, in national, regional, international field. So, and IDF, the work of IDF is to ensure food safety, nutrition, and sustainability in the dairy sector. IDF fosters an environment for sharing experiences, technologies, and innovation. It's exactly why we are here, to share this knowledge. Collaboration and knowledge, exchange drive for progress and growth of the dairy sector. So finally, innovation is crucial for meeting changing demands, consumer expectation, and sizing opportunities. So I'm looking forward to hear and to understand and to learn from the speakers here. And so we can start with the session. I recommend 10 minutes for each speaker. And we can start from Mr. Takayuki Agiwara, FAO representative in India.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brazali, for setting the stage for our session. Let me quickly introduce our first speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hagiwara, appointed FAO representative in India in May 2023. Mr. Hagiwara's career at FAO spans from his role as a Natural Resources Management Officer to Chief of the Asia and the Pacific Service. He led the Sustainable Livelihood Development Project in Kenya, Mau Forest Complex, recognized with FAO's Edward Sauma Award in 2013. Mr. Hagiwara has also served as the Regional Program Leader at the FAO Regional Office for Asia and the Pacific in Bangkok, Thailand. Over to you, Mr. Hagiwara.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, sorry to speak twice. Ladies and gentlemen, and valued stakeholders and esteemed guests, I have a long name, Takayuki Hagiwara. Just call me Taka. Taka means in Bangladesh in currency, so it's easy. But in Kenya, if you call me twice, Taka, it means garbage, so don't call me twice. In my last speech during the inaugural session, I emphasized the three major concerns. The first one was sustainability of environment, the second one was the climate change, and the third one was transboundary animal diseases. In this section, I was tasked with discussing innovation and sustainable dairying. Firstly, a good news is that we are gaining more experiences and knowledge about One Health and transboundary diseases. There are numerous innovations in this area. FAO is working closely with the government of India on various projects to tackle these issues and reduce the risk of future pandemic. So, to reduce the risk of the bird flu, for example, to spreading the cows and outbreaks of other diseases. So I'm confident that we are on the right track in this direction on the transboundary diseases and One Health, although we have a lot to do. The critical area requiring innovation, to me, and I hope that everybody would agree, is the feed production, particularly in the context of the climate change and environmental sustainability. Currently, the feed comes from either from agriculture or natural sources in India. As I mentioned earlier, other food sectors, such as poultry or aquaculture, also growing rapidly equally. And there will be the competition for the resources to feed both animals and people. For example, the government of India buys rice and wheat to distribute the free food to the more than 800 million. Japanese population is just 120 million. So government of the India buying and feeding more than 800 million people, while needing to produce food for 1.4 billion people. That's the bottom line. According to the source, India also has approximately more than 200 million cows and 110 million buffaloes that need feeding mainly from both agriculture and the natural resource sources. Thus, Thus, I want to emphasize the importance of the feed security under a broad umbrella of food security. In terms of innovation and technologies, many are not cost effective, and the business model of technology often does not penetrate in the rural area. We still see women carrying the fodder on top of the head. If the cost of the feed production using the new technology is not price competitive, such technology would not be adopted by many farmers. Wait for the emergence of the affordable technology that farmers can use without the government support, making such technology sustainable. Climate change is really a major concern. When we discuss the impact of climate change on the livestock or in the livestock sector, we often talk about methane emission from livestock and how heat stresses an animal, which can reduce productivity. However, for farmers, the impact of climate change on feed sources is more immediate worry. We need innovative solutions to combat the effects of climate change on feed. In relation to climate change, water supply is another major concern. While this may not be the case in Kerala, for example, every year the groundwater level are getting lower in many parts of India. If India receives less rainfall, and the farmer will face severe pressure on producing food and feed. Heat and drought could lead to the potential feed supply shortages. Trees may be somewhat resilient against the heat and the drought, but buffaloes may not accept tree fodder, although cows do. Many small-scale farmers are shifting from cows to the buffalo in India for milk production due to cultural reasons, but this shift may pose risk in feeding the buffalo under future climate change scenarios. We have seen the many innovations at the industry level, but we must remember that the sustainability of milk industry depends on sustainable production of milk by farmers, particularly in improving the feed production and area where we need more significant investment. The majority of the Indian dairy farmers are small scale, and women plays a very critical role. However, their resources in terms of the money and the skills are limited. About half of the Indian population lives in the rural area and engaging in agriculture. They are small landholders or landless. livestock production is their central strategies to maintain their livelihood. Because of their limited capacity, the majority of farmers, often old, will remain in the farming areas and may not be absorbed by other sectors. In order to improve daily productivity, we need to invest more in their capacity by providing the training, and they need to understand nutritious feed and livestock management as well as stock of silage, for example. A good and encouraging sign is that the government of India and the many state government is well aware of these issues and developing and implementing good programs to support daily farmers. Thank you. FAO is developing the project with the government of India, which aims to improve the fodder production and reduce the risk of the environment degradation. And we need to incorporate your experience and the global and the regional best practices into this project. And I hope that this conference will spotlight innovation in the fodder production as well, and collection, storage, and the distribution that will put farmers in the center. I would like to conclude my remarks by reiterating the importance of animal feed security under the broader umbrella of food security. And we need more investment in the capacity development of daily farmers on nutritious food feed supply to cows and the buffalo in the milk production. And thank you very much.
Hello? Okay. Now, the next speaker is Ms. Laurence Ricken, General Director of IDF.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Laurence Ricken, Director General IDF. She has been serving IDF for over 12 years as Science and Standards Program Manager, championing the role of milk and dairy in nutrition security. Ms. Ricken's expertise in dairy science and proficiency in fostering global dairy standards have been pivotal for IDF's mission. Ladies and gentlemen, today Ms. Ricken will share her insights on dairying and innovation from a global perspective. Let's welcome her. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you all for being here. See if I can make this move. So the dairy sector has a vast history and values its tradition. At the same time, it embraces science and innovation. Where many see tradition and innovation as two opposites, in IDF we see tradition and innovation as two concepts that cannot only live together, but that empower each other. With a growing population, demographic transitions, and climate changes, the dairy sector globally is being challenged. It will require for the sector to do what it does best, be innovative, and look into science to find solutions. We need innovation to improve productivity from farm to market, to achieve sustainability and engage in climate action, to ensure animal health and welfare, and to achieve socioeconomic viability. The dairy sector has been embedding innovation since ancient times. However, as in any human practices, there is still room for improvement in all of its areas, such as environmental impacts, empowering small farmers, women in dairy, and generate more environmental friendly packaging, just to name a few. Innovation lies at the heart of IDF, and hence it's embedded in its DNA from the very beginning 120 years ago. With its vast membership, representing over 75% of world milk production, we are the platform for the sector to come together. We exchange knowledge and work collaboratively to leverage the vast potential of the sector to be part of the solution for the 2030 agenda. The founding of IDF was an act of innovation in itself. Our founding members got together to improve the ancient practices of dairying by standardizing the best practices in safety, quality, and hygiene. The model that IDF founded to generate standards for safety and quality in milk products served as inspiration for many other international and value chain organizations, including the Codex Alimentarius. Founded by FAO and the WHO in 1963, IDF and Codex have been collaborating together ever since. IDF never abandoned its commitment to innovation. It continuously incorporates new areas of work and items to its program every year. Today, IDF has 9 areas of work with 17 standing committees. In addition, there is an increasingly need for bringing different areas of expertise around the table to look at topics from a holistic perspective. The One Health approach was mentioned as well. So let's talk about how IDF promotes innovation throughout the value chain. IDF is committed to promoting innovation in farming practices through its Standing Committee in Farm Management, the Farmers' Roundtable, the Standing Committee on Animal Health and Welfare that each year publishes the Animal Health Report with inspiring cases from all over the world. It engages in promotion innovation in dairy processing through its task force. Moreover, we have a Standing Committee on Dairy Science Technology dedicated to analyze advancement in these areas. We organized a technical webinar series on innovation centers around the world, and we included some of these of this region as well. Innovation in marketing, communication and commercialization through our Standing Committee on Marketing and its action team, the IMP, giving an annual award to the most innovative generic marketing campaign on dairy promotion. In 2015, the United Nations set out the Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals to move the global agenda in order to leave no one behind. We are halfway, and a lot still needs to be done in order to achieve the set ambition. In 2016, IDF signed, together with FAO, the Dairy Declaration of Rotterdam, the first dairy sector's commitment to UN SDGs for 2030, embracing the fact that the dairy sector provides localized solutions to help move the needle on some of the goals. When looking at Sustainable Development Goal 13, climate change, then the global dairy sector has a specific commitment on climate action. The Pathway to Net Zero Declaration was launched in September 2021. More recently, in 2022, IDF published the ultimate methodology for the assessment of the IDF Global Footprint Standard for the dairy sector. However, the dairy sector does not only contribute to SDG 13. There are many SDGs to which the sector plays a crucial role. The IDF World Dairy Summit in Paris will launch a non-exhaustive stock-taking exercise of the qualified and publicly available initiatives of the global dairy sector, celebrating our continued journey to support the SDGs. So where can you engage? Of course, as a member and as an expert within IDF in all the different standing committees that I already mentioned. But there are also other ways. We have the annual IDF World Dairy Summit, the world's paramount dairy event of the year, but we also generate events and webinars, publication, and more recently, the IDF Dairy Innovation Awards, which this year is celebrating its 3rd edition. Recently, 2 new categories have been introduced: innovation in women empowerment in the dairy sector, which aims to highlight the growing female leadership in the dairy value chain, and innovation in marketing and communication initiative, building dairy category, seeking towards value generation for the dairy category through marketing and communication strategic and campaigns. Here are the winners of the 2023 categories. And as you can see, there are many winners from the Asia-Pacific region. This is not casual. It's inspiring how you have embraced innovation as a best practice everything you do, from packaging to farming. This year's submission has finished with 153 entries from a total of 78 companies. There has been a great increase in the number of companies that have put entries forward. We are looking forward to learn more about these as well as to know the winners, which will be announced at our summit in Paris. IDF is the power of its 1,200 experts network. And we are constantly looking for new experts who wish to promote dairy's exceptional value. So please engage with us and join this powerful network. And with that, I thank you.
Now, the next speaker is Ms. Kimberly Kruter. Is correct, I pronounce? Yeah, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, quickly introducing Ms. Kimberly Kruter. She's Executive Director of the Dairy Companies Association in New Zealand. The membership of this association collectively accounts for 98% of the milk processed in New Zealand. Kimberly has held this role since 2013. Prior to this, she worked for Fonterra Cooperative Group. Kimberly studied agriculture and agribusiness at Massey University and comes from dairy farming family. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ms. Kimberly Kruter, and she will be providing us with insights into dairying and innovation in the Oceania region. Let's welcome.
Thank you to the organisers of this first IDF regional conference. It's good to be back in India, and together with IDF colleagues, I'm pleased to be able to provide a New Zealand perspective on the regional and global dairy market dynamic and to discuss New Zealand's response to this. The Dairy Companies Association of New Zealand, which I represent, and which is also commonly referred to as DCANZ, is a voluntary association of New Zealand dairy manufacturing and exporting companies. Our 11 member companies account for 98% of the milk processed in New Zealand. They are nationally significant companies, with their dairy exports accounting for $1 in every $4 that New Zealand as a country earns from all goods and services trade. New Zealand's dairy is important to the New Zealand economy, providing 1 in every 3 jobs in some districts. And New Zealand's global dairy market context is that of a country that produces 2% of world milk supply, and which is an exporter of approximately 21% of globally traded dairy products. Our seemingly high share of the traded market comes from a milk supply base which is more than 10 times smaller than India's. This is a reflection of our small population as a country, just 5.3 million people, and also of the low portion of dairy production that crosses an international border. In recent years, New Zealand has had a stable milk production. Individual cow and herd productivity improvements have been balanced by competition for land, including from urban development. Our 2% of milk supply is largely exported to more than 140 different countries globally, and the pattern of these exports is driven by demand from consumers. DCAN sees the imperative for sustainable food systems as a key driver of the global dairy market, and this is shaping the way that our industry is evolving in New Zealand. The FAO definition of a sustainable food system recognises the importance of environmental and economic sustainable agriculture. And it also recognises that a food system needs to deliver nutrition and not just calories. With this in mind, the work that is being undertaken by the Sustainable Nutrition Initiative based at Massey University in New Zealand is highlighting the status of milk as a nutritional superfood. The graph on this slide here highlights in blue those nutrients where milk is the number 1 contributor to global dietary supply, including 48% of cow that's something that we as a global industry can be very proud of. The nutritional goodness of milk has and will continue to be the basis for growing global dairy demand. The global dairy market is expanding by approximately 2.5% year on year, with more people with higher incomes seeking to incorporate dairy into their diets. That volume of new demand each year is roughly equivalent to New Zealand's total annual milk production. This recognises that demand recognises that the most affordable and nutritionally adequate diet is one where the nutrition from plants is optimised by the nutritional goodness of dairy. DCAN sees the trend for continued dairy demand growth globally as being underscored by those countries who have set goals to grow their per capita dairy consumption. That includes China, it includes recently Indonesia also having adopted new targets. DCAN agrees with Rabobank analysis that the global dairy market growth will be accompanied by growth in the traded dairy market. This will occur as importers seek to complement local supply of dairy with imported products. And of course, Asia as a region is central to the global dairy market and its future growth. As home to 60% of the world's population, 80% of the people entering the middle class in 2024, and yet providing just 42% of global milk production. The dairy demand opportunities that we see sit alongside a range of supply-side challenges for the New Zealand dairy industry. These include the need to lower greenhouse gas footprints, water quality and availability challenges, the need to manage increased impacts of temperature on cows, and changes in pest and disease profile. The response to these challenges is a core focus for New Zealand dairy innovation. The challenges are not unique to New Zealand, they are globally common. The approach that we're taking to rise to these challenges is a farm-centred approach that aims to maintain and enhance the contribution that our dairy makes to global food systems and also to the New Zealand economy. At the centre of this is a long-standing focus on farm efficiency, recognising that animal outcomes, environmental outcomes and farm profitability outcomes are strongly linked within farming systems. The development of the Kiwi Cross dairy cow is one example of this focus on farm efficiency. The Kiwi Cross cows are bred from a mixture of Holstein Friesians and Jersey cow genetics to have a smaller stature, meaning lower maintenance feed requirements and an optimised feed-to-milk conversion ratio that results in a lower emissions footprint per kilogram of milk produced. The smaller stature is also a factor in the health of these animals within pastoral systems and the productivity of the animals that supports farm profitability. Newer farm-focused efficiency improvements in New Zealand also include the introduction of cow collar systems and virtual fencing to enable precision management of pastures and animal health. This is a step change within our pastoral farming systems that comes roughly 90 years after the invention of electric fencing, and which again recognises the integrated nature of animal health, environment and farm productivity outcomes. An innovation that dairy companies have undertaken in recent years is the introduction of integrated farm reports for individual farmers. These provide a dashboard of the opportunities available to farmers across milk quality, animal health, aspects of their farming business. It helps see them identify the opportunities available to them. The reports and some examples are shown here on the slide recognise the integrated nature of farm systems, the benefits of benchmarking, and the financial benefits that arise on farm from the behaviour changes that are already available to farmers. Nearly all New Zealand farmers are now receiving these reports annually with the support of their dairy companies. We are also investing in advancing the tools that are available to farmers, and there are a number of approaches to this investment. It's occurring through farmer collective investment via a levy on all milk solids produced in New Zealand that is managed by Dairy NZ on an industry good basis. It's occurring through the investment of farmer cooperatives, such as the Livestock Improvement Corporation's investment in heat tolerant genetics. And it's occurring through a range of private and partnership approaches and formats, including AgriZero, which is a co-investment of dairy processors, banks and the New Zealand government aimed at getting more emissions reducing technologies into the hands of farmers more quickly. With that, I would thank you for the opportunity to continue engaging in this Asia Pacific dairy.
Next speaker is Dr. Mang.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Taka, the distinguished professor at veterinary pathology at the School of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, IDF University, Indonesia. His research focused on herbal medicine for animal infectious and degenerative diseases. Currently, he serves as the Secretary General of the Federation of Asian Veterinary Associations since 2018 and is the chairman of the Animal Biomedicine Graduate Study Program at IDF University. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Bambang will discuss innovations in dairy from Indonesia's perspective. Let's welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. The session after lunch is very challenging, not only for the audience but also for the speakers. Okay, so I hope that you are still focused on our seminar today. Thank you. I would like to talk about dairy in Indonesia and use of indigenous knowledge to improve ruminant health, milk production, and quality. The facts of Indonesia, maybe some of you already know or maybe not yet know about Indonesia. It's the biggest archipelago country in the world with more than 17,000 islands. The second largest biodiversity in the world after Brazil, and the world number 4 in population, and the biggest in Asian countries with a population of 281 million, with the population growth rate is about 1.1%. GDP per capita on 2023 is about $4,610 and economic growth rate about 5.1%. For dairy, the dairy cattle population is not so much like India, maybe one-tenth of India. 592,000 heads, and milk production also only 948,000 tons, and milk consumption per capita per year is still small, 4.13 kilo, and daily protein consumption is 62.33 grams. This is the dairy farm for horn in Indonesia. You can see the milk production only 9.50, and unfortunately, in 2022, decreasing, because as you can see in the dairy cattle population, we have an outbreak of FMD. So this is the problem, because we are the FMD-free country, and unfortunately, we got the outbreak. So that's because our cattle don't have antibody, so the cases become worse. Milk consumption per capita, you can see here, 5.01, and national milk consumption prediction, it's 850 kilograms in 2026. So this is increasing. National milk production versus import, because you know that we don't have so much production in milk, then we a lot of import. National production only 33%, while the rest is import from outside. And the prediction of milk importation, 2024, 2026, you can see increasing. And due to this, to fulfill the national demand for milk, increasing the milk production is a must. Otherwise, we still import a lot from outside. And the challenges, we counted 4 challenges. First, increasing dairy cattle population, because our number of dairy cattle is still low compared to the population of Indonesia. So intensifying artificial insemination, we very intensified this insemination with a good straw, maintaining health status, and of course importation if possible daily live dairy cattle. And the second is improving feed management, increasing the quantity and quality of feed, energy source alternative plants in the feed, and also supplement, just like Indigofera, Salingeriana, that we already produce and commercialize. And the third, of course, animal diseases. Mastitis is still number of the first problem, metritis, respiratory disease, digestive like diarrhea, FMD of course, as I said, and also LSD, lumpy skin disease, and etc. And for the indigenous knowledge, plans for improve the production and quality of milk, like medicinal plants, we already produce this for the medicinal, like Philanthus neruri, Andrographis paniculata, the king beta, Curcuma aeruginosa, and Momordica carencia, and also improve for production and quality of milk, like Manihot, Pletrancus amboinicus, this is all the plant, Sorapus androgynus, and also Curcuma santorisa. And the other challenge is, as you know, that we just finished the election of the president, and the president program is to give a lunch free for children up to the elementary school. It counted about 70.5 million children will be receive this program. So this is challenging for the production of the milk. Now I would like to focus on the use of medicinal plants, improvement of animal health, and increasing milk production and quality. This is the medicinal plant that we plant harvested area. It's on a square meters, 339,000 meters from 15 medicinal plants. And the raw material production, you can see in the graph here, it's around 800 kilogram, 800,000 kilogram in 2023. And this is one of the research that we focus on the
antivirus for the bovine respiratory syncytial virus, because this virus is very affected cattle, chronic diseases, and economic impact. So we use 3 medicinal plants, and interestingly, that 3 plants have antiviral, and with the 3 mechanisms that we also surprising with this. The 3 mechanism is of this plant is first, inhibition of virus entry. Before the virus entry to the cell, it's already inhibited by the extract of this plant. And the second mechanism is inhibition of virus propagation. Even the virus already entered the cell of the animals, they can inhibit the propagation. So it means the virus will not develop. And the third, inhibition of virus release. After the virus inside the cells, then they cannot release to the outside, and it means that the spreading of the disease can be controlled. As the conclusion, first, the dairy condition in Indonesia still need to improve, as I said with the graph. Need to increase the daily cattle population because the number is still low. Need to increase fresh milk production and quality to fulfill the national demand. And need more scientific research on indigenous knowledge for the dairy purposes, not only plants but also on others. Needs of information, communication, and education on implementation of indigenous knowledge to the farmers. So this is the conclusion of the today my talk, and I want to quote the wise word of the wise guru. I like Mahatma Gandhi. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. What the meaning is, we have to treat the dairy with love, with passion, because they produce the milk that we are needed for our health. Thank you very much.
Now, the next speaker is Dr. Umesh Dahal.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Umesh Dahal, Director General of the Department of Livestock Services in Nepal. He is a distinguished professional in veterinary science and livestock development in Nepal with a career spanning over 2 decades. He has made significant contributions to animal health and the strengthening of national veterinary services in Nepal. Ladies and gentlemen, today Dr. Dahal will share insights on dairying and innovation in the Indian subcontinent. Please welcome him. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the introduction. Respected Chair and President of IDF, FOR, DG of IDF, speakers in the dash, delegates and invited from different parts of the globe, respected sponsor, तमाम किसान दाजुभाइ दिदीबहिनी हो, entrepreneurs, farmers, entrepreneurs, media persons, and ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to be here in front of you from Nepal. I would like to thank Government of Nepal, Government of India, NDDB, and IDF for this opportunity. So today I am going to deliver the status of the dairy industry and what innovations we are adopting in the moment and way forward of the dairy industry. So some brief overview of Nepal, dairy sector present status, government intervention, innovative approach, and conclusion. So as you know, so in 3 sides we are surrounded by our neighboring country, India. So we have 3 ecozones, we have 3 tiers of government at the moment, we have 7 provinces, 753 local levels. As far as the animal population is concerned, we have 4.75 million cattle, nearly 3 million buffaloes, 0.05 million yaks. So because we are a small country, as you know, we have 29 million population, and the agriculture GDP contribution is almost 24%, and within the agriculture GDP will contribute 24%. So more than 70% people are under poverty line, more than 50% people are engaged in agriculture, and 3.4 million livestock farm families we have in Nepal. So as far as the dairy sector is concerned, the dairy contributes almost 63% of the livestock GDP, meat and fish only 32% and eggs 5%. The share in agriculture, share in GDP is $2.36 billion US. So dairy sector contributes about 12% to the total agriculture GDP. So obvious, it helps to alleviate rural poverty and to generate income and employment. About 3 million households are directly or indirectly involved in milk production, and more than 500,000 farmer families involved in regular milk production, sales, and distribution. So in order to complete all the activities related to dairy sector, I have already informed you, we have 3 tiers of government. In federal level, we have ministry, we have Department of Livestock Services, in which I am working as a Director General. We have National Dairy Development Board, we have Research Council, we have Department of Food Technology and Quality Control, and government-owned dairy development corporations. And similar type of organizations are there in province and local levels. So we have milk cooperatives, dairy association, private sectors, financial institutions, NGOs and INGOs, in order to complete all the activities in Nepal. So we are rich in policies and legislation. So these are some of the policies related to dairy sector. Among them, we have a FMD control strategy. We have GSP implementation guidelines at the moment. And we have also zoning and compartmentation directives as per the standard of all organization for animal health. And we are conducting zoning and FMD-free zone within the 2 years. So among the population, we have 917,000 milking cows, 851,000 milking buffaloes, and total milk production is 13,000 ton. So the cattle and population, buffalo distribution are distributed throughout the country. As far as the production status, the buffalo contributes almost 54%, and the cattle contributes only 46%. And due to commercialization in cattle industry, the contribution will be increasing from the cattle sector. So annual milk production is, at the moment, we are producing 2.6 million metric ton, and the per capita availability is nearly 90 liters per capita per year. So trend of import is increasing in these days, and we are exporting dairy products. We are almost becoming self-sufficient in dairy industry, dairy products. Regarding marketing, only 70% market, it goes to the formal market, 33% the informal market is over there, and the household consumption is more than 50% of total production. So we have 4 large industries. So in Nepal it's large, but maybe they are processing more than 100,000 liters per day. We have 2,000 milk processors, more than 1,885 milk cooperatives are there. So small milk market agents are there. So many small rural excluded from formal milk market, mainly due to remoteness and problem in collecting sharing facilities. Still, we have to increase our collection facilities in the rural areas. So milk processing plants get more milk in the flush season, obvious, and less in the lean season. However, the scenario has been changed because so the seasonal milk production is over there, but nowadays we can have similar type of milk throughout the year. So we are exporting the hard cheese, which is called surpi, of an average currency 3.4 billion in the last year. So we have a large and medium dairy industry, small dairy, milk powder plants, cheese surpi industries, and they are producing their products. Also, we can see different type of products which are available in the Nepalese market. So regarding milk value chain, the input supply, especially input dealers, vet service, machineries, storage, transport facilities, the production right either from the individual farmers or dairy companies or cooperatives. The collection obvious by the producer groups and collection center in processing. Most of the cooperatives are involved in the processing and processing industries as well. And they are doing their sales, export, and distribution for the consumers. So what intervention we are adopting? So in these days, because of having self-sufficiency status, restriction of some of the, especially the raw milk and bulk milk powder, so we have set the minimum purchase price of milk, that is Nepalese currency 65 rupees 50 paisa, for milk containing 4% fat and 8% SNF. So we are performing artificial insemination in more than 700,000 dairy animals per annum. So we have already started embryo transfer facilities in Nepal. We have our own GS, good hospital practice directives, lots of trainings, vaccinations in most of the diseases like FMD, hemorrhagic septicemia, and blackwater. So it's a national disease control program is over there. Regarding insurance, we are providing 80% subsidy in the premium from the government. So we are creating FMD-free zones within 2 years in order to export dairy products. So as you know, we are Hindu country, so the male calf is a big burden in Nepal. That is why, so feasibility study for the production of sex-sorted semen is going on in these days. We all do these activities for the trade facilitation. So for the high genetic potential dairy animals, I would like to thank Government of India for supplying 15 Mudra buffalo bulls. They are bulls, especially for the semen production and distribution throughout the country. So we have got some bulls from South Korea and 6 bulls from US as well. So in breeding practice, yeah, it's synchronization to overcome seasonal production in buffaloes. So not only, we always not import the animals from abroad, we are conducting the pedigree performance recording scheme, and we are now more than 5,600 animals are in recording system. So we can select the high merit bulls and buffalo bulls from this population. So we have already introduced Gira and Shaiwal breed for semen production for AI, especially in southern part of the country. Embryo transfer is going on, and we have already proceeded for selective breedings. In nutrition, yeah, balanced feed formulation. So we are giving our priority in feed formulations, unconventional feeding, solid production, hydroponics, UME, and TMR in practice. So we are adopting mechanization. My dairy entrepreneur, our entrepreneur, they are adopting the most adopted the innovative approach like milk cow lifter, milking machine, automatic seeders, land levelers. It's over there. The housing in these days, lots of big cow farm they are coming in Nepal. So they are adopting almost all modern technology. So in the healthcare management, as you know, so we are producing the vaccines for National Disease Control Program. We don't able to produce FMD vaccine. Especially we procure FMD vaccine from India. So we have already introduced imaging techniques, modern surgery, laboratory diagnosis, ELISA, PCR. So pentasulfate introduction against one of the wasting disease of water buffaloes, that is Khari disease. So it was zoning and compartmentation for FMD control. So we are adopting the modern dairy village is one of the successful programs. So we are adopting 6 cattle per farm, and we are doing in cooperatives, and almost all inputs and the male animals they are used in the government breeding farms. In conclusion, so this is a very promising industry in Nepal. So need for increasing investments and collaboration with academic institutions, research organizations, and private sector partners is essential in order to have very good innovative technology in Nepal. With this, I want to conclude my presentation. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. Namaste.
Next speaker is Mr. Padam Bahadur Gurung from Bhutan.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, Mr. Padam Bahadur Gurung, who brings 37 years of experience in livestock development in Bhutan. Mr. Gurung is currently head of National Cattle Breeding Center, Bhutan, under the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock. Mr. Gurung will today share his insights on dairying and innovation in Bhutan. Let's welcome him. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, NDDB, and the sponsor of this event for inviting us in this forum to share the innovations and the strategies that have been developed for development of dairy production in the country. So before I start, I would like to give a small background of Bhutan. I think I could see some of the participants from the other areas which you may not be knowing about Bhutan. Bhutan is a small country situated in the eastern Himalayas between China in the north and India in the south, with an area of 38,394 square kilometer. And the main development philosophy of Bhutan is gross national happiness, which we prioritize mostly on the well-being and happiness of the people over the gross domestic product. with 38,394, only less than 3% of the land is used for the arrival, and agriculture still employs more than 50% of the Buddhist populations. So livestock farming is an integral part of the farming in Bhutan, and among livestock farming, dairy farming is the most commonly accepted by the Buddhist farmers. So, if I mention about the self-sufficiency rate of dairy, we have got around reached up to 86 percentage, and still we are importing around 14% of the dairy production, and it has been mostly, you can see, lot of Amul products, goat cheese, goat milk, and some retained products from India in the grocery stores of Bhutan. So with this, I'll just start the main presentations. So dairy development in Bhutan has been started during the first 5-year plan. So in the first 5-year plan, introduced a Jersey cattle of breed and Mura breed of for the genetic upgradations, and we have also started a Jersey nucleus breeding during the first 5-year plan. And later in 1969 and 1974, Brown Swiss farm has been developed where I'm working now, and to further intensify the genetic upgradation of the cattle breed populations, National Insemination Program has been started, and semen processing has been started in 1994. So with the intensification of the national artificial inseminations, so crossbred population has been increased, and we also have supplemented some of the crossbred population from India. Under the productive enhancement, we have increased the quality crossbred cattle, and which has enhanced the milk production through contract bull breeding program in 1995, which was later changed into contract heifer and bull production program in 2010 by using a progeny tested imported semen. And we have also engaged community AI technicians for wider coverage of the AI, and we have started the nationwide applications of sex-sorted semen to produce elite heifer production since from 2020. And we have also improved the management practices of the dairy production. Under the dairy processing and milk quality testings, there are a lot of transformation has gone through it from the traditional processing by forming a dairy farmers group cooperatives, and we have also established a milk processing unit and supplying the required processing equipment. Clean milk production intensified, capacity building of the farmers has been intensified, and we have also started the now quality-based milk grading system. And we have also engaged some of the private milk processor for product diversification, value addition, such as making of the Swiss cheese, like Gouda, and hard and soft cheese. And marketing, we have evolved now. We removed the middleman system. So by formation of the dairy group, which they do it now, then we also improved the value dairy supply chain through cluster approach, where the group of the farmers group can come together, they can collect the milk in one place, and where they can process and they market it. And we also have one FDI company from Japan, Kofuku International Limited, under Druk Holding and Investment, where the collection of milk in the eastern Bhutan are collected and they process into Gouda cheese, salted butter, block cheese, and cottage cheese. And digitalization of the national cattle breeding system has been started in 2001. Now it has been upgraded to online national dairy information system in 2022 to capture the real-time data on the animal identifications and registration, AI and progeny born record, farmers groups and cooperatives about their members, production figures, processing types, and the economic value, and the types of the infrastructures and the equipments available with the farmers. In the climate actions, it is duly taken care, and with the we have also started the installation of biodiversity to mitigate the greenhouse gas emissions. So we provide the materials and subsidy base, and we also, for the carbon sequestration, we encourage the farmer to go for the fodder tree and silver pasture development. And here we also give it a free supply of fencing materials and photo seed for the farmers to grow, to develop pastures. And we also have initiated the land management with the Napier hedgerow plantation, where the Napier can be used for the fodder for the animals and hedgerow, and to control the land erosions. And we have initiated the introduction of enteric fermentation through more digestive feed, like initiation with total mixed rations. Under the One Health program, we have already started, because there are some cases of rabies in cattle and some cases of brucellosis and anthrax in Bhutan. So here, multi-stakeholder engagement is there. So the people from the Ministry of Health, the people from the Bhutan Food and Drug Authority, the local government, and the Department of Livestock people will all come together to contain the outbreak of this zoonotic diseases. And we have also collaborated with the World Organization for Animal Health to eliminate the disease like rabies, PPR, rabies and PPR. So for PPR, Bhutan has gone intensive dog sterilization program for 2 years under the command of the king. Now we hardly see any puppies growing, giving puppies in the market. So by end 2020, 2030, I think hopefully our visions of making a rabies-free country would be achieved. Under the sustainable dairy practicing, as I already said, that it is a socially and culturally acceptance, unlike to piggery, poultry and fishery. And now the farmers have started to rear less number animal with the improved breeds, which can produce more milk and which will enhance the rural income. And feed and fodder development has been started by the farmer, and now they have already started with the stall feeding through cotton curry system. And it depends upon the farmers to the type of products they have to produce. So it's a market-oriented dairy farming and improvement of the manure management, recycling, manure, and agricultural production. So this is my last slide. So we have got one strategies and action plan documents, which will take care of all this intervention of the different stages of value additional chain, like input, production, distribution, what are the types of inputs and produce has to be introduced and distributed, and what are the production enhancement support, like giving the supplying of the animals and other said construction materials and subsidies, then product processing and value addition through farmers group and cooperatives, and farmers facilitating market and marketing channel. And we have also started to initiate this e-commerce so that the farmers can supply their or sell their surplus cows or the product through the online. So with this, I complete my presentation. Thank you.
And last but not least, Dr. Shah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Minesh Shah is the Chairman and Managing Director of the National Dairy Development Board of India with a distinguished career of over 38 years in the dairy sector. He also chairs several organizations including Mother Dairy, Indian Immunologicals and the Institute of Rural Management, Anand. Dr. Shah has extensive international exposure and serves on the board of IDF, contributing to various committees and task forces. He is acclaimed for organizing the World Dairy Summit 2022 and has received the IDF Prize of Excellence Award in 2023 and the prestigious Dr. Korean Award for his significant contributions to the Indian dairy industry. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Shah for his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. The chair of this session, all my fellow speakers, and the delegates. I'll just briefly tell about, since we are discussing about the innovations in the regional perspective, I'll just briefly take you through what innovations at the present we are working in India. Before that, just a reminder of how India has traveled its transformational journey from a milk deficit nation to the self-sufficient nation. We were producing about 17 million metric ton of milk when we got the independence in around 1950. And it remains so till 1970. And the population was growing and there was always a pressure on the per capita availability of milk. And that's how, we started with the focused interventions. And now today we have a production of 230 million metric tons. We are the largest milk producer in the world, accounting for 1/4 of the global output. More than the nutritional value it provides to the larger population in India, it's also supporting the livelihood of about 80 million rural families who are directly engaged in milk. And as you know, milk is the highest agriculture commodity valued at rupees 11 lakh crore. If you see the country in the perspective of our population, a large population is actually lacto-vegetarian population. They don't take the meat and eggs, and for them, the source for nutrition, especially the protein, is only milk and milk products. And therefore, it is very important in the country like India, where you have milk almost in the every diet. You start from the breakfast, in the lunch or dinner, you will find every corner of the country taking some milk or milk products in the staple. So this journey was very important. We traveled from a deficiency to self-sufficiency. It was possible only through the combined efforts of all the stakeholders, the government of India, various state governments, the schemes and programs which were developed by institutions like NDDB and truly supported by the dairy cooperatives in the country, several favorable policy and regulatory measures by the governments again, and as I told, the NDDB spearheaded the Operation Flood program initially, which made the country largest milk producer and also self-sufficient. And it continued, with the implementation of Perspective Plan, NDDB's own scheme, and then the central sector scheme of National Dairy Plan for replicating and strengthening the Anand pattern of dairy cooperatives. So I think one critical success factor, if you see in this journey, has been the presence of cooperatives. And it provided the greater market access to small and marginal farmers. Otherwise, for the smaller farmers with the small quantity of milk, which is also a perishable in nature, it was very difficult for them to have a collective bargaining power with the economies of scale required. And that, the cooperative system emerged, and it provided the farmers and a system where they are sure of giving their milk to the cooperatives. Whatever they produce, cooperatives will buy, and that guarantee supported them with adding more and more cow and buffaloes, and it also helped us to eliminate the intermediaries. It also helped us to take care of the fluctuations which we normally see in this season. So we have the flush season, we have the lean season. So with the cooperatives in place, we were able to manage these price fluctuations between these seasons. And more importantly, even today, I think cooperatives sets the price in the area where they are working. And therefore, the benchmarking of producer price for milk happened by the cooperatives, and everybody who is in the business has to provide that minimum price which is set by the cooperatives in that area. And as I told, one of the critical success factor, if you analyze for the success of cooperatives, was also passing on the maximum share of consumer rupee, almost 75 to 80% share of the consumer rupee going back to producer. So I have almost traveled, the developed nations where if you compare this against the price being paid to the producer from the consumer rupee, it's almost one-third in the developed countries. So one-third gets to the producer, one-third is taken by the processors, and one-third for the marketeers or the retail chains. Whereas we are still able to provide 75–80% of the consumer rupee back to the producer. And I think that is the reason why the producer are continuing to remain in the sector, and they are adding more and more cow and assets to which is helping us to have a steady growth rate of more than 6% over the last decade. Coming back to the innovations, I think innovations was the key from the beginning of the Operation Flood. The Indian sector always fostered the innovations and found some innovative solutions. The first such thing was the development of a Anand model of cooperatives. And we have the three-tier structure, starting from the village cooperative societies, district milk union, which takes care of the processing of milk and milk products, and the state milk federation, which takes care of the marketing of milk and milk products. Several other innovations happened in that journey. Some which I can say, India produced first time the milk powder from the buffalo, because the world over it was cow milk which was converted into powder, and there was a challenge in India for converting it into powder. Another innovations which happened was the rail milk tankers, because we had the country where certain areas having a large volume of milk, certain areas where the milk was not available, and it was important to travel or to transport milk from one area to another. And the innovation happened. We were able to transport the large quantity of milk with just a difference of 1 or 2 degrees centigrade temperature in the 48 hours or 72 hours. And the milk vending machines, you can see in Delhi, Mother Dairy is still selling the milk through vending machines, taking care of the sustainability, or we can avoid the plastic for packing the milk and milk products. Some of the recent innovations where we are working on the sex-sorted cement technology. We all know we have 2 technologies world over. NDDB has now developed its own technology. We already started the pilot production, and we hope that we will be able to provide this sex-sorted cement to the producer at 1/5 of the cost which is normally available. We are also working on indigenize the media which is required for ET-IVF. We are working on various sensor-based technology and the digitization. We have also taken ET-IVF to the farmers by the hub and spoke model, and the genomic selection through the development of Indus chip and buffalo chip. On the nutrition side, we are working very closely with Amul for developing a total mixed ration feeding concept. Having developed the concentrated cattle feed, I think the time has come where we start supplying either dry TMR or the conventional ready-to-eat TMR to the farmers. We are also working on utilizing the, some of the waste into silage, and we have now developed a process for MTP ports silage, which can be supplied to the farmers. And last but not the least, the ration balancing program, which helped us to reduce the methane emission and also improve the productivity of the animal and additional income to farmers. In the animal health, I think I will skip the slide because many speakers told about the veterinary medicine. We have now developed formulation for most of the common ailments for the animal through treatment through the veterinary, and thus mitigating the challenge of AMR. We are now, for the sustainability, we have also started focusing on the dung. And as we all know, dung is a potential source of feed and potential source of fertilizer and the fuel. And we have started both decentralized model at the farmer's doorstep, 2 to 3 cubic meter biogas plant, or the larger capacity 2,000 cubic meters to 4,000 cubic meter plants to use the thermal energy in form of biogas, or you purify the biogas, compress it, and use it for the vehicle mobility. These are some of the other examples. We have now, first solar cooperative was registered by NDDB, where the farmers are piloted, they have piloted themselves, organized themselves, and they are using a cooperative model for, for harnessing the water and also for producing the surplus solar power and connecting it to the grid. We are also working in digitizing the entire value chain so that the farmer gets the advantage. Some such example, Android app, eGopala, automatic milk collection system, and some of the innovations in the logistics like Milko Bike, where a milker will be able to go to the farmers for milking the animals, or a mobile milk collection, testing and cooling system, particularly for the healing areas. Some of the innovations in the engineering plants, we are working on the renewable energy and several examples of renewable energy through solar photovoltaic walls, agri-waste for the steam raising, or the green buildings we are setting up for the dairy plants. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Minesh Shah, for your comprehensive overview of dairy innovations in India. Ladies and gentlemen, following these insightful presentations, now we will engage in a panel discussion to further explore these themes. I would like to invite Mr. Pier Cristiano Brisale, our chair of the session, to kindly moderate our panel discussion. Thank you.
So I took, how much time I have? Because I have so many takeaway insights. But I try to summarize. Mr. Rajiwara made some concerns about the feed supply in India, and also there are some concerns about climate change impact in the productivity and the availability of food, feed supply. And we need to support the farmers to produce enough feed here in India, and also to guarantee food security. So we need financial support for the farmers. General Director of IDF explained what is the role of IDF on supporting the global dairy sector in terms of innovation, and showed all the work we are doing that has impact on innovation. And we are showing all the practices along the dairy chain, from farm to fork, from farm to processing. And innovation in dairy is very, very important. And we are providing also to improve also the environmental efficiency in the dairy sector. We are providing all the methodology to measure the impact on the impact on the environment. And we launched it also together with other organizations like Global Dairy Platform, Pathways to Dairy Net Zero. Ms. Kimberly Crowther explained about the dairy sector in New Zealand. New Zealand is organized in 11 companies, no? Right? In New Zealand Dairy Association. And she said what we know, but we need to promote, that milk is a superfood. And I want to repeat what said Ban Ki-moon during the former Secretary of United Nations, during the World Dairy Summit in 2018 in Korea. He said that milk is perfection. Milk is perfection because fit with the 17 SDGs, but also in nutritional, has everything and all the properties for the right nutrition. Provide 23 of 29 of essential nutrients. I like what said Kimberly about we need to cross and to guarantee for the farmers profitability, sustainability, and productivity are strictly interconnected. So when we speak about sustainability, we need to guarantee that it's sustainable, also economically sustainable. About the presentation of Bambang Pontio is. It's clear that the dairy sector in Indonesia is still progressing, and I was surprised about the milk per capita consumption is just 4 liters per 4.13 liters per capita is very, very low, and the target is to increase productivity of dairy cattle and the milk production. So they want to increase the production in Indonesia because satisfy just 33% of the need in Indonesia. And they are putting a strategy, and the challenging are to increase the dairy cattle and improve the feed management, reduce the animal disease, and they use indigenous knowledge plant for improve the productivity and quality of the milk. And what is important for everyone is the education in the school. So the program of education in the school is very important. And also IDF has launched the milk school program, and we are supporting the education in the schools for the consumers, starting from the young generation. About Nepal, Umesh Dahal, he explained about that the dairy sector contributes to 12% of annual GDP, and is very important to alleviate rural poverty. This is a very important role that dairy sector has also in other countries like India to guarantee the livelihood. And they are acting all together in Nepal to support the dairy sector. They have around 200 milk processors, 4 companies that work more than 100,000 liters per day. And they export an hard cheese, I didn't know, it's very nice to know. And they are implementing a lot of programs by the government to support the dairy sector. For example, insemination in 700,000 dairy animals, embryo transfer, and so on. So the support from the government is very important. And like I said this morning, like in India, it's very important the collaboration between private and public sector. From Bhutan, they introduced the new breedings since 71, 72, introduced Jersey, introduced Brown Swiss, and so on. And they are importing semen to improve productivity. And they are also working to support the dairy sector in terms of milk quality testing, and the system of cooperative is supporting the dairy sector. Digitalization is always very important to support the dairy sector, and the One Health program is very important to support the sector. And finally, and they have an holistic growth guided by the national dairy development strategies and action, like in India. Like in India, Manesha explained very well what they are doing. The work of NDDB we know very well, and is an example for the world, for everyone, what you are doing here. And you are implementing so many things that I don't need to repeat because the people have seen. And it's very important also animal health, quality, and so on. So, thank you very much. And really, but the most important thing that I really admire here in India is that you transfer the payback by 75–80% of the consumer rupee. This is amazing. And this is what we need to learn. I am a dairy processor, also dairy farmers, but we need to support the farmers because we depend by the farmers. So they need to have enough to support the work they do. That is not easy work. And we need to transfer as much as possible value to the farmers. Thank you very much. I hope you come back with some takeaway. And now I ask to the speakers to stay together. We take a picture all together. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude this session, I would also like to humbly request our session chair, Mr. Pier Cristiano Brazale, to kindly honor our esteemed speakers by presenting them with mementos as a token of appreciation for their valuable contributions. So kindly stay back, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request our session chair, Mr. Pier Cristiano Brazale, to please honor our esteemed speakers by presenting them with mementos. This is a token of our appreciation and thankfulness. Thank you very much. So please honor Mr. Takayuki Hagiwara. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your warm words. Thank you very much, sir. May I request session chair? Thank you very much, Mr. Hagiwara, once again for joining us and for sharing your valuable insights with us. And nextly, may I request our session chair to kindly honor Ms. Lawrence Riken, Director General, IDF. Thank you very much, Ms. Lawrence Riken, for joining us today. And nextly, I would like to request you, sir, to please honor Ms. Kimberly Crowther. Thank you very much, Ms. Kimberly Crowther, once again, for your gracious presence today. Thank you very much, madam. And next, may I request our chair to please honor Dr. Bang Bang. Thank you very much, Dr. Bang Bang, for joining us today and for sharing your valuable thoughts and insights with us. Next, I would like to request Mr. Pier Cristiano Brazale to kindly honor Dr. Umesh Dahal. We are indeed honored to have you with us today, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, next we are honoring Mr. Padam Bahadur Gurung. Thank you very much, Mr. Padam Bahadur Gurung, for joining us today and for sharing your very, very valuable insights with us. Finally, sir, please honor Dr. Minesha. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your thoughts on the topic. And finally, may I request Dr. Minesha, Chairman, National Dairy Development Board and Secretary, INC IDF, to please honor our session chair, Mr. Pier Cristiano Brazale. Thank you very much, Mr. Brazale. I think let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude this session, once again, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Mr. Pier Cristiano Brazale, our session chair, our speakers, panel members, and all participants for their valuable contributions. Your perspectives have enriched our understanding of global and regional innovations in dairying. Thank you all for your engagement. May I also thank our audience for engagement and participation. And we will now have a brief tea break for
15 minutes, so please take this time to refresh and network with your peers. We will reconvene promptly for the last technical session of the day, session 3, focusing on farmer-centric interventions in milk aggregation.